Hello there, my name is Seguya Hamis from Kimdi Group Design Team, and today we have brought you an integrated structure, meaning it has two sets of animals using the same housing. This structure occupies a space of 0.15 acres and it has 300 goats and 20 cows. Let's talk about our project. This project has the following facilities. Just to briefly highlight what we have on this project. We have a store, we have staff quarters, we have water points, and the housing structure itself, which has on the first floor the goat structure, and then on the ground floor the 20 cows. If you would allow me, let me engage you through the cow section. Our design is an all-weather design. By this I mean you don't have to worry about which season it is, wet or dry. Your animals are going to have the same facilities they need, whether they are indoors or outdoors. Let's go through the cow section. The cow section is designed in a way that we have sleeping structures for 20 adult cows. We have a milking parlor that goes up to 4 cows, and then we have a calf section for up to 8 cows. Let's talk about how the whole section is organized. We have the sleeping structures, of course, because of cleanliness. The floor of the sleeping structures is raised from the rest of the floor to allow droppings and waste not to be on the sleeping side, because you definitely want your animals to rest in a comfortable place that's free from that. Then, as for cleanliness in the structure itself, you know cleanliness is a very important aspect in farming, and of course when you mishandle cleanliness of the structure, you're definitely looking at issues like diseases, contamination of food, and things like that. Therefore, to avoid all these things, we have an easily cleanable flow in the structure, whereby the flow is meant to be in a way that easy runoff of waste is allowed in the structure. And on top of that, we have outlets on the structure which allow this waste that is being cleaned out, for example, or for example urine, to flow out with ease. And then outside our structure, just around, immediately around the structure, we have a trench. This trench is generally for things like runoff from the roof and then waste itself from inside the structure. And the use of the trench is to allow this waste to be directed to a common collection point. Now, of course, we know waste from farming can be used for other things. For example, you have biogas, you have manure in the farm. For example, you have pasture plantation on your farm. This manure comes in handy because you don't have to now buy fertilizers from elsewhere. You just have to give it a bit of time, and then when it gets less acidic, it can be used on your plantation. Let's move on a little bit to the goat section. As I mentioned, our structure is storied. Therefore, on the ground floor is where our cattle are, and then on the first floor we have our goat. This may be a bit surprising too, because there's a lot of questions. How do you get to the first floor, for example? How do you manage cleanliness? I've just talked about cleanliness and all those things. Just to take a bit through